We have been all across the state of Mississippi. We've been from Starkville to Enterprise to Algoma, and now we're here. We're at the.
Forgot Louisville.
Nobody could forget Louisville. Now we're here at the Neshoba County Fair, maybe the greatest event in the state of Mississippi year after year. I'm Brian Hadad, he's Robbie Faulk. This is the Summer Catfish Tour presented by Superior Catfish. One last stop, not exactly at a catfish restaurant today, but we're gonna eat some catfish.
We will find some catfish, I promise you that. We have some great guests here. We're gonna be out of the mud for a little bit. It rained before we got here. It's a little muddy.
We got new shoes on though.
But I'll tell you what, it's not as hot as it usually is, and that's a plus. We got some great catfish though, great guests. I cannot wait for stop number six.
We can do math. Brent Johnson from Superior, he was with us on the first stop. He'll be here today. Former Diamond Dog Chad Crosswhite, this is his cabin we're going to be sitting at, so he's going to join us. Former Mississippi State quarterback Michael Henning is going to join us today, plus a few other surprises. Should be a great stop for our last stop here on the Superior Catfish Tour. We can't wait to bring it to you. A piece of Mississippi history. We're glad to be a part of it. Let's get going.
And Brian's going to run the horse race.
Maybe. This is Thunder and Lightning here on SuperTalk Mississippi. Brian Hadad and Robbie Faulk with that, again, that rare bird, the Saturday Thunder and Lightning. We are live at the Neshoba County Fair here.
Well, not live as you listen to this, but we are
live. No, it's never live.
That's right.
Yeah, the people who listen to the podcast know that by now, I think.
Well, some people don't.
They don't think we're getting up at 6 in the morning, do they?
Well,
and then if they listen again at 8, they're like, are they still doing it? They just repeated it.
That is true.
So I think our listeners are smart enough to figure that out. We are at the Neshoba County Fair. We have been here most of the morning. We have got an incredible show lined up for you here today. We are talking to a couple former Bulldog legends. Former Bulldog pitcher from the 2007 College World Series team, Chad Crosswhite. Former MSU quarterback Mike Henning is going to join us. From Superior Catfish, our good friend The Voice, Brent Johnson is going to join us. He'll wrap things up for us. We're going to talk to Chad's mom, Jane Crosswhite. She's the owner of the legendary Williams Brothers store down here is it in Williamsville or is it in Philadelphia?
It's in Philadelphia.
It's in Philadelphia.
Yep.
We're also going to talk to Michael Penn, the owner of the huge Penn's Fish House here in the great state of Mississippi. Plus, we have a surprise guest. I'm not going to give that surprise away until a little later here.
You have to listen.
You have to listen. You have to tune in. Let's just say that maybe it might have something to do with a local celebrity who's been known to be a national star. That might have something to do with that. So we'll just tease that out there for you. But we got to talk some MSU sports, and obviously we talked plenty of that with Chad and with Michael. But we weren't surprised. Mississippi State dead last preseason in the SEC polls. I've come to a conclusion, Robbie. I got to go one way or the other on this. I got to know what the situation is. Either I'm going to take it seriously or I'm not.
Yeah.
So what I want from the conference is some direction on that. I want the conference to tell me, look, we want you to really take this vote seriously, give us your best answers, and try to be as close to what you think will actually happen as it will. Or I want the conference to tell me, do whatever you want. I don't care. Vote Mississippi State first, vote their entire team first team. Don't care. Because Vanderbilt getting 8 first-place votes in the East and 5 to win the conference, it irks me.
And it's not like the Mississippi State stuff is what it is. I think that would happen even if people were taking their job seriously. The Vanderbilt stuff is just silliness. You're just being silly. You're just being funny. Look at this. Oh, look at that. You're just.
And the thing is,
that's not being. It's not taking your job seriously. That's not picking it right.
Not getting any pub for it because nobody's making that vote public.
No. Well, that's the point.
I'm at the point now where I think the conference needs to make everybody's vote public.
Yeah.
And if
I vote on the Associated Press top 25 every week. Everybody knows exactly what I'd vote.
You took a lot of heat these last couple years.
And you do. You have like 50-something people voting for that. You can publish this thing in the same way for the SEC media days.
Just put a grid out there.
But we're going to say, okay, first of all, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Some of these people shouldn't be voting.
Correct.
The blogs, the people that don't get credentialed at
Clarion
games,
Ledger.
Exactly. They fall in line there. But if you can't get credentialed at a football game,
Yeah.
You shouldn't be allowed to vote for a preseason SEC Media Days poll.
There really should be. I feel like the conference needs more direction from their SIDs.
Yeah.
Like, this person says they cover Mississippi State. Would you credential them? No. Okay, they don't get a credential. Right. Because you and I have been to Alabama, and I've been in the press box, and it's a big press box. But there's not 50 people from Touchdown Alabama in that press box.
There are people
we'll have to have a guess.
There are people that try to. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know what to do here. Just let it happen.
Ladies
I guess.
and gentlemen, the third member of our broadcast team. Get on up in there, sweetie.
Just why don't you just sit down, baby? Okay.
Natty Faulk is here with us. Her mom
Why don't you just sit down?
Her mom just was like, oh, she's coming to get her. This is all on camera. No, it's to make sure it stays in.
Okay.
No, she wants to
Just
stay.
let her sit. Just let her sit.
Fine.
She's fine. She's fine.
If you got a comment, you got to say something. Let us know. You're right in that, and I feel like I'm being like trying to act like Big J over here. I feel like I'm like, I demand to be taken. I don't really. I don't take my job super seriously. I don't take things like that. You know, I don't get overly worked up by it. But again, there's these perceptions, right? And perception, if you're a longtime listener to Thunder and Lightning, you know that perception is reality.
Yeah.
And so when people consistently vote Mississippi State last place, there becomes a perception that Mississippi State is a bottom feeder program. You did a fantastic job on some research. You can read that at 24/7, where Robbie basically lays it out. And the biggest point is this. In the last 10 years, what is State's record against Arkansas? What is it against Auburn? What is it against Ole Miss? Why aren't these teams on the bottom of the poll every now?
Yeah, and I mean, State has a better record. I mean, they've dominated Arkansas in the last 10 years. What are they? 7 of the last 10 or 8 out of the last 10 or something.
Since 2012, State's lost 3 times.
I wish I could remember the person. I'm sorry, I forget your name, but somebody tweeted me yesterday. State has finished higher or lower, better than Auburn, Arkansas, and Ole Miss in the rankings or the standings at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of them, like 6 times or more throughout the last 10 years. So
I think, other than Alabama, everybody has been last once in the West in the last decade.
Yeah,
and so, but it's Mississippi State that gets the stigma. So that's the first thing. And you and I weren't surprised by that, though. We knew that was going to be the case. I sort of held out hope they might get to 6th, but at the end of the day, they're 7th, so be it. Then we look at the All-SEC team. I don't know. I don't understand, and I don't know that you could make me understand how Tulu Griffin's not your first team kick return specialist. The guy's the leading kick returner in the country.
Well, I mean, what if you're going to use statistics, which should be a big part of the thing, he has better statistics than Kool-Aid McKinstry, who's being voted on that because he goes to Alabama. Good player.
By the way, already on the first team as a defensive back.
Yeah. Barry and Brown, really good
stumped.
player. Barry and Brown. Neither one of those guys have the same statistics as Tulu.
Right.
So I don't. I mean, it's just laziness to me. It's not going out there. You could easily research that and see, oh, who's the top kick returner? Oh, it's Tulu Griffin.
Yeah.
He's number 1.
So
he was an All-American last year.
Tulu Griffin scored a touchdown in the Auburn game. Scored it on a kickoff return, right?
Yeah.
So 1 touchdown in the Auburn game. That gives him more touchdowns than Kool-Aid McKinstry has in his entire career.
Yeah.
Kool-Aid McKinstry has never returned a kick for a touchdown. And again, it's not to take away from Kool-Aid. He's a great player, fantastic nickname, and he is going to be an All-American and probably a first-round draft choice. But we got to have a little common sense here.
Natty's bored.
She's had enough. She's like, sports is not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
She's off. She's just going.
She thought we were talking about Elsa or something. That didn't work out.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I could deliver a dissertation on Frozen, the first Frozen.
Yeah.
I'll tell you anything you want to know about that movie.
You and I have probably watched that a combined 3,000 times.
That's low.
Yeah.
That's low.
And I hit up
I've actually
Moana.
met Elsa twice.
Yes.
Yes. That's a lovely woman.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I remember the first time.
Just don't touch her hand.
No. The first time I met her, or the second time, I swear at Disney that day it had to be 136 degrees. And I was just like, is there any way you could step outside for a minute and just, a little bit? And she's like, I'm not allowed to do that. I was like,
I love how she's playing the character.
Oh, she stayed in character.
That was
It
great.
was great. Yeah. That was also the same trip where I learned Tiana, big Saints fan.
Oh,
It's not a Saints shirt. She was like, I love the Saints. That's my
should
down. So,
Of course, the Saints weren't even.
she called me Sugar, too.
There
so.
wasn't even a program when she was an actual.
The NFL
character,
didn't exist, I don't think, at that time.
But still.
But still, let's get back to Mississippi State sports. So, Bookie Watson, second team. Tulu Griffin, second team all-purpose, and third team
Second
return
team
specialist.
was all-purpose. Third team return specialist, which is even
specialist.
more of a joke. But
Yeah, I mean, what got me about all-purpose is you had like 5 guys you could vote for.
well, and then another. I didn't quite
guys you could-
understand all that stuff. And then another one that I was very upset about. Jet Johnson,
Jet Johnson, the leading tackler. in the
leading
SEC.
tackler in the SEC, should mean something for a linebacker. But
Not in the top 9.
instead, there's
vote-getters.
9 players ahead of him.
9 times.
9 times.
I voted for him. I had him second team.
I mean, I don't understand.
You
But
know,
I'm
look,
glad Bookie
Harold
Watson made it.
Perkins, yeah, I get it. All right. Dumas Johnson from Georgia, sure. But Jet Johnson deserves to be in your top 6. He's 200 tackles over the last 2 years. It's a joke. Crumity didn't make anything. Now, granted, he only played 5 games last year. I voted him first team.
Yeah, I mean, he from a statistics standpoint, he's never going to measure up.
No.
But that's not his
No.
strength.
No.
His strength is opening up everything else for everybody else.
Yes. And then
So,
I voted Hayes Hammond as my long snapper just because I don't know anything about long snappers.
I voted on him too.
I was surprised he didn't win.
That's
Enough people
good. I
seem
mean,
to-
he's about to start his 3rd year
Yeah.
as a starting long snapper in the league,
There you go.
and you hardly ever notice him because he's doing his job.
So more disrespect. The only way to fight it is to win.
Yeah.
Which I believe Mississippi State will do. This might be the year where I finally take a little enjoyment in going back and finding some predictions, being like, what were you thinking?
Right.
Now, especially, I know MSU fans hate him, but I like Barrett Saleh. But this is the guy who wrote the article on, Mississippi State every year, perpetually underrated. Teams every year, they go in and they pick them last and they finish ahead of that. I don't know why that happens. And then he voted them last. Come on, man, you wrote the article.
Well,
That guy.
that's your friend.
Well, we all have a friend we don't want to have.
You
You have
some
me.
friends I disagree with,
You have me.
but I like you.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate that. All right. Speaking of friends, we made a lot of them here today at the Neshoba County Fair. We're going to talk to all of them. Settle in. We got a lot of fun stuff. Don't forget our surprise guest. You are going to love to hear what that rednecker might have to say. We'll talk to him a little later in the show, though. Let's get after it. We're just keeping the people coming here today. I wish, like I mentioned it earlier, we're sort of doing things out of order. This is the 6th person I believe we've talked to today, but he's going to be first on the show.
Yeah.
And that's Chad Crosswhite, former Diamond Dog, College World Series in 2007. I think that team kind of gets lost in the shuffle sometimes. I think people think about MSU College World Series teams, and they think about 97, 98, and obviously the great run State had in the past decade. That 2017 was one of the best stories, and, of course, the first super regional ever in Starkville. That day, as an atmosphere we all remember, tell us about it being on the field.
It was hot.
Golly, was
It was
man. That's the
stupid
hottest.
hot.
I think that's the hottest I've ever been in a game.
That may be the hottest I've ever been in my life.
You know, that was a year that, really no one gave us a chance. I think we were picked to finish dead last in the SEC. Ended up going to, the Super Regional, winning at Florida State, which was, Florida State was a hot team.
Yeah.
I was actually in the movie theater. We were all at the movies in Starkville when they called and said, hey, we're actually going to host a Super Regional against Clemson.
Yeah.
That Clemson team had, I don't know how many draft eligible guys. I think they had got 10 guys drafted. One guy drafted in the first round, one of the top picks. He was their Friday night starter.
Yeah.
It was just a team that, we were just gritty. It was a Bulldog team, those guys that was there, Mitch Moreland, Ed Easley, Jeffrey Ray, Josh Johnson, Brian Laninfa, Thomas Berkery, a lot of older guys that kind of took us under, that kind of give us that experience. And, we made it to Omaha. That's what your dream is. And the Lord blessed us and we made it, and it was awesome. But you're right. Sometimes it does get kind of lost. It was just a long lag. It felt like once we made the Super Regional, and that was a huge deal. But then once we won it at Super Regional, it was just like, man, we're actually going to go to Omaha.
Y'all pitched it really well, especially at Florida State. Justin Pygott had a great game.
JP.
And it's the pitching staff there really got hot. It seemed like late. I mean, what was your thoughts on how you guys handled that season, and especially into postseason there?
I thought we pitched well. I think I threw against I think it was it Stetson.
The first game? I'm going to ask you something about that in a minute.
Corey Kluber was that was their. I didn't throw against him, but the team I threw against Stetson, and it was just our pitching staff. We kind of went up and down. We had it was Aaron. What's Aaron's last name? Weatherford. Yes, and he was kind of on the back end. They kind of put me on the front end. I was really more of a long reliever guy, but they kind of stuck me in there. Had a couple of good little outings. And our pitching staff, we just clicked. It was one of those after the SEC tournament. We faced David Price, Will Klein, top 2 pitchers in the league.
Yeah, played that Vanderbilt team was really loaded.
David Price, he was doing the Ric Flair.
Didn't even make the College World Series though.
No,
yeah,
he was wooing. He was wooing y'all from the
every
mound?
time David Price struck a guy out, he would do the Ric Flair, woo, like that, and he did it.
I didn't know that.
Vandy boys, man.
They don't get to claim that. They don't get to claim Ric Flair. That doesn't work for me at all.
But the funny thing is, so I was throwing against Price that day in the tournament. This is before Price was picked number 1. I bet you there was 40 scouts behind home plate, and I remember looking out there before I went out there. I was like, man, I might can get seen today. Today might be the chance, right? Look, when Price got off the field and I went out there was one guy. They all went to get something to eat, and I was like, well, you know what? It did.
Maybe this one guy.
Maybe
he'll tell the rest of them.
I was listening to that game in a pasture. I was listening to Jim Ellis, that 07 SEC tournament, and I was like, this team probably gonna get 2 and done.
Yeah,
the region.
He didn't have any.
I got to add no faith.
Yeah,
I'm a negative person. I'm sorry.
That's true. So this is an urban legend. You're gonna confirm it here if you can. That the night before Game 1 of the regional, Coach Polk was planning on starting Justin Pygott because he was y'all's number 1 guy, and Tommy Raffo and Russ McNichol went to him and were like, we cannot start Pygott. We have to save him for Florida State. You're going to have to do this. We will not go out there with you if you start Pygott in this game. Is that
Correct.
a true story or not?
Correct. It is a true story.
We have confirmed an urban legend here.
Well, it was a true story. And the thing is, it did work. That was about that team. I'm telling you, it just, man, all those guys were we just clicked. And, man, once we got it rolling, we had a lot of confidence, a lot of swag. But, we didn't have social media back then, so there was not none of this pre-hype video.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, dude, get your turf, get your cleats. Let's just go out there, like the old school.
I will say one of my memories of Chad was before one of the Super Regional games, they started playing Cotton Eye Joe on the speakers, and he did the dance.
Yes,
in front of the dugout.
So
that was my one. That was their pregame hype, I guess.
Yeah,
they did the Cotton Eye Joe in front of the dugout.
There you go.
I did the dance, and the funny thing is, we won.
Should have done it every game.
So look, the next day,
yeah,
they played it again. I did it again. We won. Dude, this went on for
you couldn't convince them to do it in Omaha.
I couldn't get them to stop.
Yeah.
So, but we kept. I couldn't do it in Omaha.
It became a thing.
Yeah. But you're right. Like social media nowadays, you kind of, they would have made it a thing, but that was just us, just living.
It
just
would have been
living.
Hashtag Chad. And
Yeah. Just living the dream.
Chad.
That wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. Is it special for you to have been on Coach Polk's last College World Series team?
It is, guy like Coach Polk, everybody always says, right, the legend.
Yeah.
This is a guy, that still sends letters out.
I was about to ask, do you still get your letters?
I do. And, I take pride in that. Coach Polk sends letters out. And even Coach Cohen, when Coach Cohen, my last year was his first, every Friday we did a thank you Friday. He made us write a letter out. So that is a comparison to those two. But, Polk is just, I never heard him cuss. Treated you like a man, even though we were kids. We're kids. But he was the best, really was. I mean, I truly, I can pick the phone up right now and call him. He'll answer, he'll, hey, I mean, all the time doing it, But he looks so good. If you, I mean,
No,
looks
he looks the
great.
exact same.
I think
he's looked the same as
being
my
back
life.
at Mississippi State has been good for him.
I agree.
When he was away and they had all these issues with him and John Cole, I don't think that was good for him because that's home. Anytime you got to be away from home, it's never good for you.
Agree 100%. He looks so.
I mean, the man's name is on the stadium. He should be there.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So personable. So I mean, you can have anybody can have a conversation with him, and he wants you to come to his house and look at his museum in his house,
Yeah.
his oven that he's never turned on, which blows my mind. What does he eat? I don't know.
what does he eat?
So
Does he
at
just
lunch,
order takeout?
well, at lunch he would always eat like a Snickers and a hot dog.
What?
Yes. So that's what he ate a lot. If we went out to eat, he's gonna kill me for saying this, but if we went out to eat, let's say Shoney's, that was big.
Oh yeah, back in the day,
Shoney's.
Shoney's buffet.
He would have they would all be, the whole team would be over, and he'd be off to the side, and he'd have a whole plate of corn. And he'd eat every bit of it. I mean, you love that guy. You know, you're like, this
What a character!
I think Mississippi State has been incredibly blessed to have had Ron Polk and Mike Leach
Oh my God!
come through.
I agree.
I mean,
I've
nobody
never
else
heard them
could
talk
touch
to each
that.
other, but I
Oh my God, their
put out.
conversations had to have been legendary.
Yeah.
If they ever had one, I would pay money to hear the audio
Yeah.
to that.
Yes, exactly right.
So what are you doing now?
I work at Williams Brothers, it's a family business, and
Love it.
You know, I do. Truly blessed. We've got some great honors. You know, my mom's won honors. Mr. Sid Williams is the president. He's a great man, great Christian man. We got a lot of great Christian people in there, and it's just one of those deals that I'm trying not to really screw it up, to tell you the truth. I'm trying to keep it going to help them because, you know, it's just it's a unique place. It's just like the fair, you know, people coming in, see friends and family all the time there.
Yeah.
Truly blessed just to be a part of it, really. So we're going to try to keep it going since 1907. So
Doing something right, man.
selling catfish, right?
Oh yeah.
Superior Catfish.
Yeah, that's what I was telling them. I was like, people call, hey, you got catfish? Yes, sir. You have Superior Catfish? Yes, sir. Ooh, the price is kind of high. No, I mean, all right, just give me 2 boxes. I'll be there.
There you go. There you go. Now, I have to assume you and your brother are the favorites in this cornhole tournament coming up. Come on now. 2 former college baseball players. Surely you can put the beanbag in the hole.
I can put it in there a little bit, but you know there really are some professionals over there. Did y'all know?
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like,
Do they have the branded shirts? and all
yeah.
that?
You been over there?
I have not. I'm going to have to go check that out.
So they have like their polos with their name on it, like a bowling shirt.
Oh, yeah. I've seen them on TV, but I didn't know they were going to be here.
You know, that's a new thing we're doing. So be honest with you, I'm pretty pumped to watch it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad y'all are here at the fair, man.
We couldn't
having
resist
a
this
blast.
opportunity. When
We're having
he
a
said we
blast.
could make this happen, I said we got to do it. So
I got to give credit to Clay. Clay's the one that reached out to me and presented this idea, and then I
job,
said,
Clay.
"Okay, we're coming to your cabin."
yeah.
He's like, "Whoa, okay, I don't know about that."
Yeah, we're coming. We're coming.
No,
to
but
see
he made all this happen. We
Yeah.
appreciate the Cross Whites, the Williams, everybody here.
Not the
that's-
Mannings.
Yeah,
Hey,
check them out.
they're the best too.
All
The
right.
goat.
All right.
We like
The
the
goat.
Mannings too. Respect, very, very
We
well
love
respected.
Peyton and Arch.
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
they're-
we want to thank y'all for letting us
Yeah,
take
it's
up
been great.
all this room. This whole porch is covered with our stuff. You've let us sit here and blab and eat catfish.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
We got one more segment to do, which is the first segment of the show.
We
We've
worked
done this-
backwards.
We have worked this. And I'm sorry for the children, but we worked this completely bass-ackwards
Hey.
today. So we were just going to get after it, though.
Ain't no problem. Look, I appreciate y'all. Thanks
you,
for letting me
Chad,
come
yeah.
on. Thank
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you,
Chad
man.
Crosswhite, Mississippi State baseball legend.
you. Yeah.
Every small town in Mississippi has a local landmark, a place where everybody knows where it is, everybody's been there, everybody's gone there. Here, that place is Williams Brothers, and it is owned by this lovely lady right here, Jane Crosswhite. We appreciate you coming on with us.
Glad to be here.
Tell us about the store, because its roots go back a long, long way, and it has. I heard you, there's a side of the family we don't like to talk about.
Oh, we have to talk about them, but I'm the outcast of the family.
No,
Every family
no,
has
no.
an outcast. I'm the outcast of the family.
No. So, how long has that store been in business?
We've been there since 1907.
I mean, you know, what's funny, by the way, for me is You think about 1907, you're like, wow, that's almost 100 years. Then you think, well, no, it's 2023, Brian.
That's right.
You've been in business over 100.
That's right. My granddaddy and his brother started it back in 1907.
And it's a place where literally anybody who lives in this area, whatever they need, you probably got it there.
Well, we try to have something for everybody, but we take pride in that.
And you said, you're a cross-white. The Williams side of that family,
My mother was a Williams.
and sort of a famous relation in there.
Very famous.
And
Yeah.
who would that be?
That would be the Manning boys.
Okay. So,
Archie.
so
Olivia.
how are they related?
Olivia and I are first cousin.
Okay.
That's right. Olivia's father and my mother were brothers and sisters, and they're the second generation of the store.
They're just managed just really by marriage. They're not really.
I don't know. We claim them.
We like Peyton.
Well,
Peyton's all right.
you know,
The
they
other
worked
one's
at the store.
And Arch
Is it?
now.
Arch
gonna be
is fine. Little Arch, he's fine. Those other ones, though, I don't know about them. They're iffy.
So they actually grew up in that store during the summers,
They did.
kind of worked there. I mean, what was that like seeing
Yeah,
them kind of grow?
Well, Peyton didn't get to come as much as Cooper did, but Eli was the one that would sit. They would sack groceries. That's what they did. They would sack groceries. Eli never said a word. Cooper kept something going all the time. He had pulling pranks on people.
That feels like, well, from what we know of them,
Yes.
that sounds about right.
Yes.
Well, now
Yes.
that you see Eli on ESPN on Monday night,
Now he's the jokester.
Yep.
yeah, how did that happen?
I think it was in him. Cooper was just so overwhelmed, and I think he was trying to get everybody back.
So, tell us about the fair and the store. What's the relationship? Because I have to assume this is the time of year where y'all are just hopping all the time.
It is. It's we enjoy it so much. The Neshoba County Fair and Williams Brothers just sort of kind of go hand in hand, and we get to see people one time a year. They come to the fair and they come to the store, and we just enjoy it so much. The fair's been around a long time, and so have we.
I don't think people know too. So you got a grocery section.
Yep.
You got clothes.
Yep.
And then if you want to go in there and buy a $600, $700 pair of ostrich skin cowboy boots, you can do that too. That is truly a one-stop shop.
Well, yep, it is.
So,
With everything growing over time, with these big businesses, Walmart, big grocery stores, and stuff like that, Williams Brothers has been around for over 100 years at this point. What is the secret to a store having that kind of success, and not just having some success, flourishing the way that it is?
Well, I really do believe that we have such wonderful, loyal employees. We have customer service. We have employees that's worked with us for 35, 40 years. And in
you can tell-
today's
you can tell being in
time,
there.
people don't have that. And I will say, as family, we are there. We're working every day. And I think it just means a lot when you're on hands, and just so grateful for everything that's happened and all the people that come. And when their kids grow up, they bring their kids back, and they're used to grandparents bringing them in and buying them shoes and boots for back to school, and now they're coming to the fair and bringing the little ones back.
And then you guys sell Superior Catfish as well.
We sell Superior Catfish. Been doing it since I believe it was not however long they've been Superior. We've been doing it.
Wow. We've talked so much. We've been to all these restaurants. We haven't really talked about the retail aspect of Superior, that if you are a shopper, there are plenty of stores in this state, and Williams Brothers is one of them, where you can go in there and get you a case of Superior Catfish and take it home and fry it up yourself, which is what you would suggest people do. Come down and get some.
When the phone rings and they'll say, "You got a box of catfish?" They say, "Yeah, what kind, Superior?" I'll be there in a little bit.
There you go. And you're famous.
That's what we do too.
Yep.
Exactly. You're famous for your bacon, is what I was told, and your cheese.
Yep. hook
Now
cheese.
I love hoop cheese. That's
You're gonna have to stop by on the way.
That's
back.
an underrated Mississippi delicacy.
Yeah.
Some hoop cheese.
Yeah.
If I go to a grocery store and they're selling hoop cheese, I know it's a good place.
Yep.
So, and then what's the bacon?
Well, we've been selling sliced bacon. We're one of the few people, if you think
I saw
about it,
them in their slices.
we sell 2.5 tons of bacon a week on a regular week. This week, fair week, we'll sell more than that, 2.5 tons. And we'll slice it any way you want. Does have the rind on it, but we'll slice it any way you want.
Man. You're right. I am. Stop.
Yep.
You're right about. That's one thing this tour has showed me, is that within an hour and 15-minute drive of my house, there's like 20 places I need to go.
That's right.
And I found another one today with Williams Brothers. Jane,
Hey,
thank you so much for your
glad
time.
to be here.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And
Before we go,
Oh,
mama of 2 baseball boys.
yeah.
One of them, Chad,
talk
went to
to one
Mississippi
of 'em.
State. Clay went to Mississippi College. I'm the same age as Clay. What was it like balancing that life, and what was your experience like going to Mississippi State games with Chad?
Well, first of all, I got to say, I grew up a Mississippi State girl. My husband and I met. We were both on the rodeo team at Mississippi State. So,
my goodness.
For us to have a son to play at Mississippi State was, we're diehards.
Yeah.
When Chad went to state and Clay went to Mississippi College, that day that Chad pitched against Clemson in the Super Regional, Clay was in the All-Star game at Trustmark in Jackson.
Okay.
So I was with Clay.
Uh-huh.
Chad was pitching. People at Trustmark were kind enough to put the game on for me. So to have two playing, to answer your question, to have two playing at the same time was
We've got
incredible.
some great parents out here today. We got Mr. Crosswhite. We had Mr. Hardy earlier. I mean,
They're doing something right.
this area, and of course, your parents are great people as well. You got a lot. You got a lot to live up to.
I do.
I don't know if I can touch Big
I
Daddy.
don't know if you can touch that legacy. Nope. No. Miss Crosswhite, thank you for joining us. We
Glad
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know that one of the biggest stars in country music, Hardy, is from this area. We could not be more excited to welcome to the Thunder and Lightning podcast his dad, Big Mike Hardy. What's going on, man?
I'm good. How are y'all doing?
We're
Doing great.
Doing great.
Thanks for asking me.
You are, for all this, as famous as your son is, you are as big a legend at this fair as he will ever be. Am I correct?
In my own mind.
If you come down to the pavilion tonight, probably about, 10 o'clock maybe, you will see Big Mike on the stage.
No. That's a one-time thing. That's
just a one-time thing?
Yeah, it's a one-time thing.
No. We need to make that happen. I feel like you could put on a show.
Well, I did one last night, but that's it. Friday night. Yeah, I'm done.
I don't
I'm done.
believe
One night only. That was an exclusive ticket.
I can't believe we missed it.
Oh, well.
Well, come back next year. If they have the same bunch, they usually let me get up and do one.
You were telling a story before we got on here because you're wearing a Reagan Bush hat.
Yeah.
President Reagan spoke here.
That's right.
That's how long you've been coming to this fair. Longer than that?
Longer than that.
Okay, how long?
Well, I'm 62, so.
You don't look 62. I'll just give you that credit.
Well, thank you.
I'll give you that credit.
I appreciate that. So 61 years, 60
Wow.
years, something like that. Yeah.
What does this fair mean to you?
Oh, it means everything. It means everything. I mean, it's, Christmas is obviously a Christian religious holiday, but I mean, it's right there with Christmas.
Wow.
Well, I mean, where can you go where you grew up and have a college reunion, a high school reunion, and a family reunion every single year?
That's true.
I mean, it's incredible.
It really is a special place, and it's not for everybody. I understand that. But for the people in Mississippi that love to be around other people, that love to eat, that love to sit on the porch and talk, this place is Mecca.
Oh, it's awesome. Now I know a lot of people that marry into the fair. I mean, that's hit and miss. I mean, you you either love it or you hate it.
And you got
see some angry wives like, I'm just not.
I will not be back.
What's really cool about it is you have friends that come here all the time. We got Michael Hennig over here, who's good friends with Clay Crosswhite in college. I mean, he's kind of remained here. I think Mitch Moreland comes here sometimes. You got people that kind of get attached to it.
Right.
You become an extension of that family.
It's like the red dirt. It takes a while to wear off,
does.
and you want some more.
If we need to take you over to their cabin. They have a maroon cabin.
Okay.
With
Good
the
start.
M over S on. This is as maroon as it gets in the Hardy family.
I like that though. That's what I feel like the rest of the cabins should look like yours.
Yeah, they all should. But what do we know, right?
And they don't have that Banner M on their cabin either.
Well, no, because this is a man of taste.
It is.
he knows what's going on here. When you think about the Neshoba County Fair and all the great moments you've witnessed here, is there you mentioned President Reagan, but is there another one that maybe stands out? You're like, man, I can't believe I was there for that.
Well, obviously when Michael played the first time here in 21,
yeah,
and he had an awesome crowd. It was great. That was a great fair, and it's a rite of passage things too. Like, I'm surprised we haven't seen the kids covered in red mud, and because when it rains at the fair, I mean, you got to do that one time in your life,
When I woke up this morning about 3:30 a.m. and saw that lightning, I was just like, we're gonna be neck deep in mud at this fair. But I also thank the Lord. I was like, thank you for cooling it off.
Oh yeah,
That was very sweet of him.
You know what was funny is that night, which I still get chills thinking about that concert. The crowd was just unreal.
What's favorite son?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. And Michael said that was a bucket list item for him before he even played. That it rained That,
Yeah, well, yeah, we had a little lightning storm in the south.
Yeah.
They cleared the stage, and by the time I got out front and got back, they were coming back on. So that
Yeah.
it only delayed them.
And my
so-
truck got stuck that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty rough. It was really muddy out there in the parking lot.
You're not the first car to get stuck
No.
in the parking lot here at the Neshoba County Fair.
No.
Well, we got to ask you about your son a little bit about Michael. And his
Okay.
career. When did it first occur to you, like, my son, he can do this?
I guess when he got some of his first cuts as a rider, Michael went to East Central. Obviously, y'all were down there together, and you didn't go to class. You were. He okay.
No.
I'll rephrase it. He didn't go to
I
class.
hope my mom's not listening to this.
She's listening now. I'm going to tell her to listen.
But Michael didn't know what he was going to do.
Yeah.
The only thing he knew how to do, and I think it's in one of his songs, was he worked for the city department, weed eating in this kind of weather, weed eating the cemeteries. you know.
Yeah.
But kid never balanced a checkbook in his life. It still hasn't. He still hasn't. But he got a few cuts in Nashville. Well, he went from East Central. He went to a writer's round with my wife, with Sarah, in Nashville, and he had been playing and kind of doing a little writing on his own. And he went to a writer's round up there. I'm sure you're familiar with the writers of songs, not the performers.
Right.
They get up and actually play. The songs come from their heart. He went to one of those with my wife in Nashville. My daughter was there at Belmont, and he said, "Mom," he said, "this is what I want to try to do."
Yep.
Great revelation.
Yeah.
He finally decided it's something he wanted to try to do, and we've got a family contact up there that actually his mother was raised in Bethsaida, just south of Philadelphia, and his name is Dennis McCoskey. And he kind of mentored Michael to get started, getting writers' rounds started. Dennis, by the way, was in L.A. one time and wrote Maniac.
Okay.
So with Michael Cimbello,
Yeah.
that was on Flashdance in the late 70s. So Dennis kind of
Tommy
took him.
Boy.
Yeah.
A what?
It was a Tommy Boy, too. When he was
Oh, was it?
all the mud and
Well,
stuff.
I mean, yeah, you can't hardly watch TV without seeing Maniac in a commercial background or something. But anyway, Dennis was a big mentor with Michael and got him set up with some writers, and Michael got a few cuts. Blake Shelton's God's Country was the biggest thing that happened for him that really, and he'll tell you, that really put him on the map as a songwriter.
Yeah.
And then Tyler Hubbard with Florida Georgia Line, Tyler and Brian Kelly, they would take a bus out and they would write on tour, and they would write during the daytime, and then at night after their show, Tyler would come on the bus and say, "What do you have?" And they would have the tracks ready to go. So Michael wound up with 6 or 7 on one of the albums they had called "You Can't Say I Ain't Country."
Yeah.
And it just kind of went from there. Tyler Hubbard encouraged Michael to go out and try the artist thing. So very appreciative.
How surreal is it as a dad when you see him in those big stadiums and things?
Oh, it's 100% surreal.
I assume you went up to Oxford for that.
Yeah, I was up there those 2
First
days.
off, I know.
Wearing Mississippi State stuff, by the way.
Oh, my man. I was about to go that route with you. I was like, what did you wear up there, man?
Oh, yeah.
And Hardy is, he's always got the MSU stuff. He rocks the
Got a tattoo, cowbell tattoo was on.
Yeah. I used to take him to games when he was little. I've been on the chain crew. I officiated high school football in Mississippi for 30 years.
Okay.
JUCO ball for around 20.
Okay.
And I've been on the chain crew since 2000. So Michael, how old was he in 2000? He was 10 years old. So he would ride up, sneak in with us to games, but he'd always show up at halftime to get the Snicker bar and the Gatorade. But
Smart. That's working smarter.
But to have never cracked a book at state, I was telling Robbie earlier that he's got a new bus now, and it's Mississippi State Maroon, and he named it Bully. So
Love to hear it.
Bully the bus.
One thing I'll say is I was surprised when Michael got to where he was, not because he got to where he was, but the music that he got into. Because when we were at DC, me and him were big into A Day to Remember, 3 Days Grace, like these, like rock stuff.
Right.
At the core, I feel Michael Hardy's a rock guy, but he has found such a niche in there with the country music because it's him at the core. I mean, you can back that up. I mean, the stuff that he writes about is
It's country
stuff.
Yeah, it's country lyrics.
He is a country guy, and you don't like when I'm around him at EC. I didn't see that, but whenever you get to know him a little bit, you know his background and you know kind of where he comes from.
He's a real redneck.
He is a real redneck.
Absolutely.
He is.
People use that word sometimes. It's a negative. It's not.
No, I use it all the time, and I've never thought of it as being a negative or derogatory. But this day and age, everybody using anything that comes out of your mouth as being negative.
You're not right.
And I want to say too, Madison, his daughter, is supremely talented, and she will come on the stage every now and then and sing with Michael.
Oh, really?
And she is. I mean, this is a musical
Got a family, yeah.
Where did that come?
Where are you on this? Why aren't you up there singing?
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for my turn.
He's the root.
Influencer me. Especially with Michael. Not so much Madison, but my wife played piano, sang in church. Madison sang in church when she was 3, and she entered all the contests. She was Jimmy Rogers' youth talent winner, and she'd go all over the state and win these contests. She was valedictorian of her class. She was star student, yada, 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 yada. So she wanted to go to Belmont. So we felt like we owed that to her, and boy, did we owe it. Well, out-of-state tuition at Belmont.
One child was a valedictorian, the other one you said never cracked a book.
Oh,
That sounds
Funny
like
how
my
that works
family.
sometimes. It doesn't.
Yeah. Well, it's all a God thing.
Yeah.
Because had Madison never gone to Belmont, Michael, he would have never done what he's doing now.
Yep.
I mean, she clearly made the path for him to get up there. Now we're all up there.
What
Yeah.
a great story.
It's
Well
weird.
deserved, hard work. They both worked their tail off. I know, and you guys have been great influences too. I mean, I'm a huge Hardy fan. I listen to everything he plays. I think he's the best songwriter in the business right now. So. Thank you and your wife for making this happen.
I appreciate you making time for us. I mean, you're a
Yes.
busy man out there.
Oh man, I like to do it.
I'd make the rounds.
I like to make.
He's like, oh, I'll sit in for a minute. Is what he said.
As long as y'all don't cut into my cousin and I are in the cornhole tournament over here.
Yes.
So
I
we got to
expect
get
first place out of you now.
No. We hope we win one.
I got it.
We hope we win. Omaha. Michael and I, we got a chance to go to Omaha. That was a bucket list thing.
Yeah, I
heard
saw
that
it.
was quite a
Michael's
show.
So Michael was like in the middle of Iowa or something, and when State booked the trip to the championship.
Right. Yeah. And he's gotten to be good friends with Todd Reeves, and Todd helped us out on the in and outs out there. But Michael's childhood friends, it was Matthew Tingle, Chance Barfoot, and Caleb Tingle. I went, one of my buddies from Chicago, so we hung out all week and just had a blast.
We need to get back up to Omaha very
soon, yeah.
Big Mike Hardy, local legend and the father, of course, of the one and only Hardy. Appreciate your time. This is great.
Absolutely. Thanks for asking me. I'm glad to be here. Y'all enjoy the fair. Did you guys bring this front through and this lower humidity?
Thunder and lightning.
There you go. No, I appreciate it. I've really had a good time. Enjoyed it. Thanks for asking.
Thank you, time, Mike. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
All right, now we got to talk some sports on this show too. We've talked catfish. We've talked the city of Philadelphia. We've talked all these great people out here at the fair. Let's talk some sports. Former Mississippi State quarterback Michael Henning joins us now. You have on your resume one of my all-time favorite Egg Bowl wins.
Okay.
The 2005 Egg Bowl, because totally dominated Ole Miss that day.
That's right.
From start to finish. You had a great day that day. And then Jarius Norwood had a great day that day. And what I always remember that game is Norwood getting hurt.
That's right.
And then coming back out and the crowd going crazy when they saw him come out.
Oh, yeah.
When he first came into the huddle, what did he say to y'all coming back from injury?
We're going to do it.
Yeah.
He was like, let's go. And but that's the kind of guy Jarius was. Jarius was he'd build you up better than anybody else. And when he said, let's go and we're going to do it, we would do it. Everybody believed in it.
And I remember about that game, it was sort of a showdown between Jarius and on the other side was Patrick Willis.
That's right.
And it was going to be who had the better game that day was probably going to win the Connerly Trophy.
That's right.
And probably have that moment. Norwood rushes for 200-plus yards. I think he scored 4 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah, caught one, and I think Bryson Davis caught 2, yeah.
So you threw 2 touchdowns that day.
2, yeah.
I remember you hitting Omar Connor for a big gain in that game too. That was one of the few games where he played a receiver and it kind of worked.
That's right. That's
that
right.
game. That Ole Miss team, they weren't great. That was Ed O's first year.
Yeah.
But y'all dominated from start to finish in that game.
Yeah, our line, we played unbelievable. I mean, we got the ball rolling quick and never really looked back, and then was able to get down in the red zone and make things happen, which was fun.
And then on the other side of the ball, Jeremy Johnson with 3 picks that day.
That's right.
You had to enjoy watching him get 3 picks.
Oh man, he was the Jarius Norwood on the other side of the ball, like the build you up and we're gonna do it. And I mean, after he had his first pick, you could see it in his eyes that it was going to be a day for him.
Yeah.
What was it? How do you kind of sum up your time at Mississippi State? Not a lot of highs for the program at that time, but
yeah,
it was one of those deals where they needed a really big transition from the previous program. And they had to clean a lot of things up, and that's one thing that that Sylvester Croom and his staff did really well is create a program that was blue collar, a program that was doing things the right way. I mean, how did you kind of sum up your time?
I sum up my time in my first meeting I walked into, and some of the guys that had been there walked in late, and here I am, this freshman. I'm a 5'11", 168 pounds, sitting on the front row, thinking that how in the world am I going to compete with these guys? And he kicks 2 of the best starters off the team right there. They had started for the whole time they had been there, and he was like, "Let's go." But it was one of those things that's what he did. He said, "This is going to be how we're going to run this program, and we're not going to change." And he did, and he stuck to his guns, and that's what eventually got him fired, because you can only do that so long in the world that we live in today.
Yeah. Another big win for you in your career, and had to be big being an Alabama kid to go to Tuscaloosa and get the win over there. That was a game that you think back to that season, Mississippi State had struggled a good bit in 2006. And to go to Tuscaloosa and knock off that Alabama team there, for you especially, had to be a huge moment.
It was. Me and Croom kind of had a bonding experience for that, because what he had gone through. He thought he was getting that job at Tuscaloosa, and it kind of meant a little bit more to him, which it meant a little bit more to me too. And right there at halftime when we held John Parker Wilson getting into that end zone, and Gabriel O'Neal stopped him, and Titus was part of that. And I mean, when they went back and looked at it and called him no touchdown, I mean, we went crazy. You can tell me and Croom hugged, and we took off sprinting. I'd never seen Croom sprint until that moment, and he sprinted to.
What was he like in the locker room?
Oh, he was
5 minutes.
He was throwing stuff. It was. It got us going. That's for sure.
I was at that game, and I remember going there just to kind of have fun. But I never thought State had a chance.
It's the best kind of upsets right there.
What
for sure?
Did y'all feel like leading up to that week that y'all had prepared? Did y'all feel like y'all were going to win that game?
You see the chill bump somewhere I was talking about. Yeah, no. Then another big part of that was Titus Brown. He's from Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa didn't even look at him. They talked to him a little bit, but yes, we 100% thought that we could go in there and beat them. Of course, in the back of your mind, you're always thinking that there's a chance that you will beat somebody. And it was one of those things where everything just went right. I mean, from the very first pass when I rolled out and hit Tony Burks to, I mean, it was just one of those days.
You threw 2 scores now, Burks and Jamel Smith.
Smith, yep.
I love Jamel Smith.
Oh man,
very underrated.
Great competitor from.
He had like over 200 yards against Arkansas in 08.
Yeah.
No, 07.
07.
Yeah. Titus Brown. So I wrote about him earlier this year.
One of the most
nobody talks
players
about him because the teams that he was on weren't great.
That's right.
In both of those games, he kind of willed Mississippi State to the win. I think he was the one that had the hit on that interception that Anthony Johnson got.
Yes.
And then he had the sack to end the game in that same game in 07.
Yeah. He was one of those when, like I said, it meant more to him. But when he put his mind to something, I mean, he was an animal, man. He was one of those people that you did not want to line up in front of him.
All right. Now, you're an Alabama guy. Why are you here at the Neshoba County Fair?
Oh, man, I love this. This is like, if I could move here, I'd move here. I've been coming here with Chad.
Get you a cabin.
I've been coming here with Chad since 2006 and hadn't really let up. And have made my wife comes, my 2 daughters come. I mean, we set this week out. Fortunately, my daughter made cheerleader for the junior varsity team, so we've got to go back on Sunday night. But normally we spend the whole week.
And so, how often do you get to make it back to Starkville?
So Starkville, we used to go about once or twice a year to the games, but now my wife is opening a boutique there,
Okay.
right off Academy Road, right across from Obie's.
All right, what's it called?
It's called Splurge, and it's a women's boutique. She's got jewelry and everything.
You would encourage customers to do exactly that when they're
Yeah,
in there.
and we won't tell is our slogan. So it's Splurge, we won't tell.
Nice.
So just women's clothing. I can't find something nice for me. They got the big guys.
We can get you a gift card, and then maybe
gift card will
find
work.
something later.
I got 2 daughters. That'll work.
There you go.
That'll work. So
Hey, Obie's serves Superior Catfish, by the way.
right across the
And so
street,
you can go
too.
get your catfish and
I
walk
mean-
right across the street.
$1 million idea.
You serve 2 of mankind's needs at one place. It
Yeah.
will beat a path to your door. That's
There you go.
That's the truth. When you watch Mississippi State nowadays, what do you think? What do you see? Think about this new team coming up. I know you had to be a little sad that you didn't get to play in the air raid.
Oh,
Throw it 60
man.
times a game.
Man, yes, and that's every quarterback's dream. But
Yeah.
especially when some quarterbacks have a stronger arm. Some quarterbacks are just a smarter quarterback,
Yeah.
and they just kind of fit in where they get in. But yes, with the arm that I had, I would have loved to have played in that offense.
How far can you throw it now? Right now, if I said go pitch it down.
Over them mountains.
Right now, if you put me on the spot with all these people, I'd probably throw it about 75 yards,
And then he
and it'd be the only time
Somebody find a football.
then he go upstairs and
ice.
We wouldn't see him the rest of the
Ice
day.
element.
Ice-
I'd be
ice-
running
ice
around like
elevation.
Did you feel like you guys? I don't think that crew gets enough credit on the transition that they had with Damon. Did you feel like you guys set that program up for success moving forward? The roster that you had, the way that y'all had done things. Did you feel like you guys had really settled things down for Mississippi State whenever you left?
I do feel like that. I feel like that. And I think a lot of the guys that played with Kroom, that it was a mindset. If you're 5 minutes early, you're late. It was one of those things like the first meeting I walked into. Those guys come in with a new head coach, and you walk in late. Come on, we would have never ever done that. It was a respect thing, and that's why I think. I mean, you look at Titus Brown running a successful restaurant in Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
And you look at some of the other people that have gone TSX, whatever the train STX
Fitzhugh?
Yeah, Fitzhugh.
Yeah.
Oh,
These
yeah.
guys. I mean,
Yeah, he was on Letterman or
That's
something.
right.
Or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that one
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
he turned down a contract and
Yeah.
to take that, which was the smartest thing he could have done.
Yep.
It just occurred to me, if I did my math right, we're coming up on 15 years of the 07 team and the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah.
You ever think about that? Like, I've been out of college.
So yeah,
I mean,
I got a 12-year-old dog.
Oh, it hurts.
I mean, it stings,
Yeah.
and it's not slowing down.
So
No, it's
so obviously Hennig and Montgomery.
In Montgomery,
So what have you're there now? What have you been doing since you left?
I was told
Mississippi
you were
State?
bringing us each a coat.
you don't want it right now.
No, not right now.
I can send you one.
For the
I'll
weather,
send it
though,
to you. So right now I'm just got 2 daughters, raising them, working in the family business, helping my wife out with her business when I can, and try to play a little golf when I can. This time of year, we're not as busy as we normally are, so trying to get the handicap down a little bit.
Which of your former teammates do you keep in touch with the most?
I talked to Titus Brown a lot. I talked to Zach Harrington a lot.
That's a name I hadn't heard.
Zach Harrington?
Yeah, gosh.
I talk to Titus a lot. Every time I go through Tuscaloosa, I try to stop at Flavors and get my soul food.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Next time I'm in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. It's in the
Oh, he's in the mall, yeah.
Galleria.
He's
Okay.
Yep.
in the mall right there. It's divine.
When next time we go to cover a Bama game,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna stop there.
That's okay. Yeah, you ain't got to twist my
I get
arm.
over to
Soul food.
Starkville Country Club a lot, so I see Phil Silva, see all those.
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
so-
Oh, gosh.
oh yeah.
I won't. We're a family program. I'm not going to ask you to tell.
Yeah, you don't want any Phil Silva stories, not on here.
It's interesting you talk about hitting first, family business, Superior Catfish, family business. We talked
Williamsville.
Williams,
right.
yeah, that's family business. I like that.
Yeah.
I like talking about that kind of stuff. So I'm glad we gave you that opportunity. And it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you.
Michael Henning is a guy. I'll be honest with you. That's not a name I thought I was ever going to get to talk to
I know.
ever again. So glad to have you on the program, man. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Appreciate you, Michael.
For a lot of people in Mississippi, when you say fried catfish, the first name they're going to say is Penn's. That is a statewide brand, as people know it from South Haven to Biloxi. They know about Penn's Fish House. And, of course, this is some delicious Penn's fried catfish provided by this man, the owner of Penn's, Michael Penn, here at the Neshoba County Fair. Penn, first off, thank you very much for the cat.
Welcome.
We appreciate
You're
that.
tempting him badly. With this sitting right in front of him, he's trying to work right
When
now.
I tell you that I could eat everything in this tray and not bat an eyelash, I'm not. There's not exaggeration in that.
Eat and talk.
we do that all the time.
It would make for bad radio. That's a Richard Cross move. I don't do that. So, Penn's. How long has Penn's been in business?
Around about 56 years. My dad started.
Wow.
And been serving Superior Catfish for how long?
Oh, we've been coming to the fair here for 35 years. I would say, I'm not sure about that. Probably over 40.
Yeah, we've talked. We've been to around the state, and we've been to some of these little catfish places. They're small places.
Yep.
Penn's is a whole different kind of operation. How does Superior work with you guys to provide the kind of demand that you have?
In the beginnings, everybody has trial and error and learn. But if we ever left Superior, we went straight back to them because there's just not any comparison. Their catfish matches our breading. If that's, I don't know if everybody understands that, but something about
They're both top quality.
something about it, it works together.
How did all this start for Penn's? You talked about your dad running the business. You've taken over now. Where did y'all get y'all start, and how did it kind of branch out to being the franchise that it is today?
My dad was younger of 3 boys, and he was in the logging business, and the older boys started coming in the logging business. My granddaddy started, and it kind of pushed him out because he was the young guy, and he said, well, what am I going to do? And he just had thought about a fish house. I think he got the idea down in Hasburg somewhere, and he just started. So he did it. He opened up a catfish house. And we used to feed a lot of people out there. I was a busboy there for many years. And that's when they didn't have nothing but, they didn't have fillets when he started.
Yeah.
And they'd
Whole
see the people
catfish,
coming
the whole
in and we
fish.
didn't have anything but catfish, whole catfish, french fries, hush puppy, and coleslaw, and they'd just start cooking. And, we'd feed 600 people on Friday night.
Oh, wow.
At that old store.
Yeah, I could eat that now.
And they were all eating that.
How many Penn's locations are there now?
We're down, I think we got about 10 at the most. There has been as many as 17 or 20.
Wow.
And these days, ever since COVID, we started shutting a few down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's everybody, though.
Everybody's having help.
What I said at the beginning, do you agree with that? In Mississippi, if you say we're going to eat catfish, a lot of people say, oh, are we going to Penn's?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty well known. We got a strong chicken,
Yeah.
too, and we mix them both together.
Well, if you want to bring
Chicken on a stick.
chicken by, we won't say nothing about
We'll
that.
bring that next.
That chicken on a stick, Brian.
We had to concentrate on
Somebody
catfish,
let Sanderson Farms know we're doing a tour with them too, or whoever does the chicken. Yeah.
Every time I come to the fair, I go to Penn's. That's where I get my food at either nighttime or lunch. And I have a very difficult decision. Do I want catfish or do I want chicken on a stick?
See, you
And
get both.
Yep.
It's just
What
free.
Get that bowl of catfish and put that stick across the top.
Why would you not do that?
Well, now you've given me a great idea for later.
I can't believe you hadn't thought of it before.
Well, I'll handle that later.
So you said 56 years in business.
Yep.
What are you looking forward to for the next 56 years?
Well, I have a twin brother. He has his pens, and I have my stuff, and we separated ever since Daddy kind of went out because family has to.
Yeah.
But he has his family, and they can do the pens thing and do what they want, work when they want, do what they want to do, and do whatever. And then I have all mine, and that opened up the doors for. I got all my kids, which 2 or 3 daughters, and my son's probably going to help some. He's out of state right now, but we're all in this together now, and we're blowing it up. We cater. That's our big deal is like 6 rigs that stay cooking somewhere all the time.
How much do you enjoy coming to the fair?
Oh yeah, it's good.
Y'all are at the Choctaw Indian Fair too, right?
Yep.
We need to have a Thunder and Lightning fair and let them cater as well.
Fine with me.
Well, I bet if we started trying to put together the Thunder and Lightning fair, we'd get more vendors than you could ever imagine because they would all think the same thing. Well, Hadad will be there, so we'll make our money back.
They just show up. Where's the people at?
Yeah, no, it's just us. It's just for me.
Yeah, I don't know what you were thinking, but yeah,
I said it was the Thunder and Lightning fair. Here we are. So as long as we pay the bills, nobody's going to say
That's
anything.
right.
Michael Penn, Penn's Fish House. Great legacy in the state of Mississippi. Great legacy with Superior Catfish. Thank you so much, Jordan. And thanks again for the delicious catfish. I'm going to go start eating some of it now.
We'll come back with the chicken on a stick and a little fried shrimp, and
Oh, yeah.
crawfish tail,
Just keep it coming. I won't say that.
homemade cheese bites.
I didn't know if Brian was going to like this place or not, but I'm starting to shift.
I'm starting to feel good. I'm starting to feel like I belong here.
The heat and the mud, and I didn't know if that was gonna mesh for
Well, it's not
hand.
bad. The heat's not that bad today. So.
That's
No,
true.
it's better today.
It actually feels really good today.
And it sells the dust.
There you go.
Yep.
Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
This is the final stop on the Thunder and Lightning Catfish Tour presented by our friends at Superior Catfish. We thought of no better way to finish it up with the man who was with us on the first stop back at the Little Dewey in Starkville. Brent Johnson, Superior Catfish. I've already forgotten your title. It feels like 2 years ago that we started this. What is your title?
My title is just
Chief Fish.
no, whatever it takes. Just the gopher.
Yeah.
There you go.
The
Whatever.
confidence from the first time we talked to him to now.
He's a seasoned veteran at this point.
Yes.
Much like we're going to enjoy some delicious seasoned catfish later today here at the Neshoba County Fair. We have been talking to everybody. We talked to Fred Johnson. We talked to Pamela Jones. Talked to Jermaine Washington. We talked to all these great people from Superior. And the family vibe has come through with every single one of them. That's a testament to you and your company that you've been able, that from the top down, they believe in it.
Absolutely. You know, I can't say enough good about Superior working there. That's what we're founded on. That's what I love going to work. It's not a problem for me to go to the plant every single day and do what we do there because it's just that we're all friends. It's incredible. It really is. You can sit around, drink a cup of coffee. Nobody's getting on to you. We can all have fun. It's a good place. It's a good
Apply
place.
for a job if that's what it's like. You just hang out and enjoy yourself.
If you can sell some catfish and eat some catfish, come on.
They're going to stick you in that freezer down.
Buddy, I can sell and I can eat, as I think I have proven here on this tour.
All the free catfish you can eat.
But is it going to be fried, or is I got to do the microwave thing? I demand my own
You're gonna join
tasting room
Wendell.
with a fryer in it. That's what I have to have.
We got that.
All
We,
right
we can
then.
fix that up.
Let Fred know I'm coming. I don't even need a corner office.
Some of the best catfish we've had on this thing was when we went to
Was at your desk.
That was
in the
so
conference
That was
room.
so crazy.
It
They
was
was
good.
like, "Hey, fry up some catfish real quick."
And they did, and it was delicious. They had the Superior breading on there too, so
was.
that made it good.
That stuff there is second to none. I'll stand on that. I'll stand on that one.
As you
I
should.
can too. I've already used it twice. I used it to air fry fish, and then I fried some,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
some of the
like
best
potato chip.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
so
I bit
crispy.
into that thing and it cracked.
You know what? I probably told you this, but it's interesting. When you go and fry that up, you probably did, and they say, "Oh, this breading's so good. This breading's so good. Where do you get this breading?" I'll say it right now. If the fish is bad, they won't say a thing about that breading.
That's true.
They just say, "Ah,
Have $1 million
that's bad."
breading, but if you got 10-cent fish, nobody cares.
That's exactly right.
You don't have that with Superior Catfish. You got
Not
the best
10
of the
cents.
best.
Not 10 cents. It's nothing but the best every time.
What has this tour been like for you? Because you've been with us at every stop.
You know what? I can't say enough good and enough excitement that I've had and felt from this tour. I feel like really it's put Superior on the map. For sure in Mississippi, and I think it's reached out beyond this content that we put out, the people that have come on. And we've had people that have bought in the past that have come back. Our in-store sales traffic at the plant is up. It just seems like people are coming out of the woodwork just wanting Superior.
And you know that your catfish is going to these restaurants. You know they're selling your catfish. But when you go to a place like we went to Seafood Junction and you see people piling Superior catfish onto their plate, not saying that I did that, even though I did, but I mean that's got to feel good, right? You're like, man, the buffet is going and everybody has just got 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of catfish on their plate.
Oh, yeah, there's no feeling like it because, I've eaten every fish out there basically, and I know when you put Superior on that plate, I know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And I know why people are eating it because it's the best. It's good. When you get a good piece of fish, it's next to about anything out there.
Yeah.
I think you got the best kept secret in Mississippi in terms of catfish. There's just not enough people that have known them. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know about Superior Catfish until Robbie Koblenz presented this to us, and it literally changed me when I ate it. And
He's been converted. Saw the road to
the thing is, Brian and I have always said Little Dewey has the best catfish in Starkville. Little Dewey has the best catfish.
We didn't know why.
We never knew it was Superior. And now that now that I know who's serving what, and you taste that catfish, it really, there's nothing like it to me. And I'm a big catfish lover. Brian is too. We love our catfish. And to me, Superior is the best.
you don't know what that means to me to hear you guys say that. That your impression has been of Little Dewey's, knowing that they've sold Superior, because that is what we strive for every day. The people that get our fish, and that is what this is all about, is to get people to know when they eat good fish. Ask. It create demand for Superior. Ask for where you get your fish.
So I texted Brent on Wednesday. I was at Media Days, and they had fried catfish for dinner, for lunch.
I was upset to hear about that.
Let me tell you why you should not have been upset, because I sent him a picture of it, and I was like, I guess you've just spoiled me, because this is awful.
Wasn't any good.
It was not good. And then he was just like, he got upset. He was like, where is that? And I was like, no. I'm in Nashville. This isn't anywhere that you're selling catfish to, but you need to be, because it was not a pleasant experience. And yet everywhere I've been here on this tour has been an incredible experience when we've been, at Little Dewey, and then we go to Enterprise, which was a lot of fun. I think we should give Long's Fish Camp a quick shout out here. Not open for business that day.
Yes.
And opened up for us to come in and brought some people in, and that was great. Chris Reed at Clarkson's, one of the nicest guys I ever met, found my credit card and just got it back to me.
He could have just swiped it right there.
I could have had a lot of catfish on my tab. And
Yeah.
I've never known. Of course, Lake Tiacata. I know Robbie enjoyed that stop more than any other. Seafood Junction was, I'll be honest, my favorite stop because it was all you could eat. Because I could just keep getting the catfish and nobody could stop me.
And sometimes,
And now here we are at the Neshoba County Fair.
buffets, the food gets soggy. It's not very good. Their
Speaking
food
of
was
catfish.
consistent the whole. I knew I smelled something.
It's behind us.
I knew my ears
The
perked
good
up.
folks from Penn's have showed up. We're
Yeah,
talking to them. We will have already a little behind the baseball here, a little inside baseball that we're doing this a little out of order. We haven't eaten yet, but we're going to talk to Michael Penn from Penn's Fish House. That is, correct me if I'm wrong, that's your biggest customer in this state?
Well,
in terms of restaurants?
they probably, and they're our longest term customer.
Okay.
They've been with us. They've tried to cheat on us. They've tried to
Nah.
They've tried to look
Keep
under.
coming back.
They've looked
People
around.
know when you're not doing
That's
thing.
an interesting story. Pam, the one that was on the second stop, my sales partner.
Yeah.
She was working the competition, and she went in there and tried to steal that away from Superior back in the day.
Where is
I think they had it like 1 week, and they said, "Come pick this catfish up. We got to get Superior back in here."
That's what we like to hear.
So Pens have been long term. They understand. They recognize the quality, and they're good people, good family people. We've got a good relationship with them.
Are we going to do this again next year? I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I
Get
think
it done,
I think
Brent.
next year is going to be bigger and better than this year. And I just want to give a shout out before I'm done here for Thunder and Lightning. Brian Hadad, Robbie Faulk, you guys have been amazing. I love the friendship that we have. You guys have done an incredible job, better than I could have ever imagined. I feel like we've made tremendous steps for what we've wanted to achieve at Superior. Well, our goal, that create the demand, branding our catfish as Superior, and like it's already been said, if anybody that wants to get on this tour, give us a shout out, but there's only one stipulation. What is it, Brian?
You got to be selling Superior Catfish.
And you won't be sorry.
And you will not be sorry, because you get to see Brian Hadad and Robbie Faulk show up and tell everybody how great your business is.
And if you're not listening to the Thunder and Lightning podcast on a regular basis, you need to. But they give you the best up to date sports information news that you're going to get. And you need to be listening.
Superior podcast. Is what
There
you're
you
trying
go.
to
You
do.
might want to change that. Change your name. We'll add that in there somewhere.
Well, maybe a sponsorship could be worked out.
Well, we can work with that. But I'm not giving one last shout out. Put the camera on Robbie Koblenz. He's the man behind this. But I'm telling you, he's done a phenomenal job lining this up, doing
all these
hard
great
work
videos and how good they look.
behind the scenes. Robbie and his team, Ben and Carly, they've done a tremendous job, done all the hard work with no glory. Put it on Koblenz. I'm not.
He's the one paying the bills. He's the one telling you what to do. There it is.
And I really think that Robbie
make sure that
needs to sit here for a little bit and say a little bit before this is done. But we probably don't have time.
We'll figure something out for that. We'll just have him on the pod one day.
Robbie kind of made. We came up with the idea. Robbie was the brainchild of the Superior part of it.
He was the brains.
If this doesn't happen without Superior,
Yeah.
it doesn't happen without Robbie. So everybody's been
And it doesn't
great in
happen
this
without
whole
all
thing.
of our great listeners who've tuned in and have enjoyed listening to us and have come out to see us and all that great stuff. So
I want this to be a yearly thing. I'm just going to go on.
I'm not going to.
It's been the funnest thing.
Catfish 5
It's
times.
been one of the funnest things that I've ever done in this business, and I want it to be a thing.
We're going to make that happen. I think that it's without a doubt. And like we said, serve Superior. Get on the list.
That's right. All right. That's it.
It's been fun, guys. I love it.
The Superior
Appreciate you,
Catfish
Brent.
Tour has come to a close. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Back to normal podcasting. We are 1 week away from college football really getting started. Practice will be starting very soon. Plenty to talk about here on the Thunder and Lightning podcast. For Robbie Faulk, for Brent Johnson, I'm Brian Hadad. Thanks for listening to Thunder and Lightning on SuperTalk, Mississippi. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of Superior Catfish.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate what you've done for Superior Catfish. I can't say enough.
You getting choked up.
I feel, hey, you guys are like family to me now. Didn't I tell you that here? When did I tell you that? Was it
Like
long?
early on.
It was the second stop.
Early on.
I told you guys were getting like family to me.
I feel like it.
So
And
we
I
get the family
love that
discount
feeling.
on the catfish.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited.
Yeah. I feel like the friends we've made on this tour and the people we've met has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And, as we look at the next 25 years at Superior Catfish, I feel like this will be a definite stepping stone for us.
I like to hear that.
Well,
Fred
it's
Johnson?
been, to me, it's just a life-changing thing to be able to do something like this. We get to do our jobs, but at the same time have so much fun going across the state, meeting new people, like you said, eating some great catfish, going to these great restaurants and seeing the people there. And you guys are really, the people in Superior Catfish are really hidden gems. I told Brent, I feel like Superior was a hidden gem in the state, but you people are the ones that are the hidden gems.
What do you mean, you people?
The people of Superior Catfish.
Okay.
You guys are the ones that make it so special. And if you talk to the people at the Lake Tiacata, Long's Fish Camp, all these places we've been to, if you talk to those people, one of the main things that stood out to them is the relationships they built with y'all. And the catfish is incredible, but what puts it over the top is the relationship piece that you guys have, the ability to have that kind of connection that you have with the people that you work with. I think that has meant a lot to people, meant a lot to us too.
Well, that's what I was thinking when Michael Penn came in here and was talking. It's like a flashback. I learned to know his father years ago, and when he'd have a problem, it seemed like I was the one that would be sent over there to talk to Mr. Penn and try to settle him down.
Yeah.
Why that was, I don't know, but I learned a lot of things from Mr. Penn, and I appreciate that. And they're just like family to us.
Mm-hmm.
If they've got a problem, we've got a problem. And that's just, I love that culture, what we've created there at Superior, and I think that's part of what makes people want to do business with us is they know they're going to be taken care of just like family.
Yeah.
Well, Robbie gave you this long, eloquent answer. I was just here for the catfish. I just
absolutely.
wanted to eat, and they told me
He's not a very sentimental
they
person.
come back and get
okay.
free catfish
That's
if I showed
okay.
up, and I was like, yeah,
That's
I'm
great.
in.
That works too.
And it's the best catfish I've ever had. So.
Well, thank you.
But no, Fred, if being serious, this was like an idea that we had. It was just sort of a thing we said out loud.
Right.
And then Robbie Koblenz helped us grab hold of it. Superior Catfish made it a reality. We appreciate you guys so much. We're glad. Anything Robbie and I have been able to do for you, we have, to quote another restaurant, it's been our pleasure
Well, thank
to
you.
do that. We've
Thank you.
enjoyed it, and we look forward to continuing this relationship.
Absolutely. I hope we can do some more of this.
Oh, and next year, we'll be back on the tour, but only if your restaurant sells Superior Catfish.
That's right.
Talk to this man.
that's right.
Get the best catfish in the state of Mississippi, the best catfish you can find anywhere. You call Fred Johnson, he'll make it happen for you.
Thank you.
If you're listening out there and you're a local restaurant and you sell catfish and you're not selling Superior, you're cheating your customers. They could be doing a lot better with our friends at Superior Catfish. And you never know, then me and Robbie might show up and we'll give you a free day's worth of advertising, and all you got to do is give us a little catfish.
Hey, that's right. That's perfect.
Fred, thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, sir.
I cannot stress enough how much fun this incredible tour has been. So much thanks to Brent Johnson, Fred Johnson, Pamela McKeel-Jones. She's over there. She don't want to be on camera no more. But they set all this up for us. Robbie Koblenz was a big part of this, obviously. Superior Catfish. We've had a great time going across the state. I was so glad to finish here at the Neshoba County Fair. You know what the good news is?
What?
On to football.
Yes. But first, I'm going to put Brian on a Ferris wheel. Could you do that?
No.
Okay, maybe not that, but we will go get like a funnel cake or maybe fried Oreos, something that
Robbie's an enabler. Do you hear what's happening here? I'm trying to lose weight, and this man's telling me
I gotta
fried
find
Oreos.
something that he wants to do.
We'll figure that out. We're about to take the tour here of the Neshoba County Fair. But thank you guys for tuning in. All of our stops have been great. We appreciate everybody who's been kind enough to have us, and we look forward to maybe doing it again next year.
Absolutely.
So just remember, if you're not selling Superior Catfish, we're not coming to see you. So get in touch with Superior. If you want us at your restaurant, you gotta have Superior Catfish. We'd love to come see you. Make it happen. The Summer Catfish Tour is finally at an end. Thanks for joining us. For Robbie Faulk, I'm Brian Hadad. This has been Thunder and Lightning on the Summer Catfish Tour.